Good evening, I'm Scott Beadle with St. George News at 8. A Utah man has died from injuries he sustained during Wednesday's terror attack in London. Investigators have released the name of the attacker as ISIS claims responsibility. Molly Hunter is in London with the story.
Tonight, London is paying tribute to the victims, honoring those killed, including 48-year-old police officer Keith Palmer, stabbed by the attacker.
Doing a job he loved and protecting our city, protecting Parliament.
And this man from Utah, Kurt Cochran, he was in Europe celebrating his 25th wedding anniversary with his wife, Melissa.
The only word I could really describe it as is surreal. One thing I could say about Kurt and his legacy, though, is he did live his dream.
Kurt's wife, Melissa, is among the dozens injured.
We are not afraid, and our resolve will never waver in the face of terrorism.
Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Theresa May is defiant, responding to ISIS claiming responsibility for the attack, calling the suspect a soldier of the Islamic State. The suspect, caught in this surveillance video, driving a gray Hyundai across a packed bridge, aiming for pedestrians, mowing them down, then crashing into a railing outside Parliament. Before fleeing his car, he was shot and killed by police. He has now been identified as Khalid Massoud, a 52-year-old born in Britain with a lengthy criminal history, but none terrorism-related, police say. They believe Massoud was a lone wolf, confirming he was known to domestic intelligence, but was not on their radar at the time of the attack.
It is believed that the Cochrans from Bountiful were walking on Westminster Bridge when Massoud drove into pedestrians on that walkway. Melissa Cochran is still in the hospital, reportedly with serious injuries. ISIS, of course, has claimed the attacker was a soldier of the Islamic State, suggesting he was inspired but not directed by ISIS. Wildlife officials in Cedar City received a surprise Wednesday morning when someone brought in a large fish that they found along the shore of a city fishing pond. Rick Wayman has that story.
Utah Division of Wildlife officials in Cedar City discovered Wednesday that someone had dumped large non-native fish at the Lake at the Hills fishing pond. The act of dumping a non-native fish into ponds and waterways is considered illegal, as the invasive fish could cause great harm to the native species and ecosystem. The dead fish was found on the shore of the pond and brought to wildlife officials that morning and identified as a pacu, a popular aquarium fish. A native of the Amazon and a cousin to the piranha, officials believe the fish likely grew too big for its fish tank and was dumped at the pond by its owner. The fish likely didn't survive long in the cold water. This isn't the first pacu to be found in southern Utah, as one was fished out of the Boiler Spring in St. George in June 2015. That fish was also likely ditched in the spring by its former owner as well. Wildlife officials emphasize it is illegal to dump your pet fish in ponds and rivers, as they can cause great harm to the native fish populations. Last summer, the stream system at the Red Hills Desert Garden in St. George had to be drained and treated due to people dumping goldfish and other pet fish into the stream. The invasive fish began to outcompete the native virgin river fish featured at the stream, ultimately leading to county water officials deciding to drain the stream and start over.
Spring is here, and that does mean time for some outdoor fishing fun. There are 2 upcoming opportunities for families to enjoy a day of fishing at Southern Utah Ponds. Saturday at Grandpa's Pond in Hurricane, and April 1st at Tawa Ponds in St. George. Both events start at 8 a.m. and are free to children under 12. Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers has your Southern Utah forecast.
The weather tonight is brought to you by Premier Sleep Solutions. Get the sleep you deserve.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Thursday evening to you. Taking a look at our radar, did see a little bit of rain move through parts of southern Utah here earlier today. Now you see most of the rain starting to break up around the area. Also near Cedar City, a little blue on the map indicating a little bit of snow that developed across parts of the higher elevations anyway. Most of this activity continues to push to the south and off to the east, but also starts to break up a little bit. So not expecting too much more here overnight tonight. And it looks like temperatures by tomorrow should get at least back in the 70s. in most areas. Let's take a look at our forecast. Then we do see sunny and partly to cloudy skies back in the area as we get to your Friday. A little bit warmer than we saw today. Again, today temperatures were held down because of the rain and the clouds, but I think we'll get back into the 70s in most areas. Now higher elevations may still see upper 50s in that area for your Friday. As we get to the weekend, then you may see a brief shower come back into the area on Saturday, otherwise cloudy skies. And a few more rain chances back in the forecast. And we were pretty dry here the last 2 weeks or so, and now we're starting to see a few more chances of rain in our area, not only for the weekend, but into early next week as well. So a more active weather pattern setting up here across parts of southern Utah. Here's a look at our surface map. Then again, warmer weather returns as the system makes its way out of our area, taking along with it the rain and the snow in the higher elevations. It gets warmer here in southern Utah for at least a day, but already seen our next system over in parts of California bringing a little rain and also a little bit of snow to those higher elevations too in California. That will eventually get in here on Saturday, bringing us some more rain chances. And again, temperatures will cool off a little bit on Saturday because of the rain and clouds back in the forecast. But for your Friday, here's your Cedar City forecast as we head into Friday afternoon. A little cool to start. Temperatures in the upper 20s around 7 o'clock in the morning. By the time we get to the afternoon, though, should get back in the low 60s. We'll go for a high of 61 degrees, but the winds could be a little gusty, southwest winds at 15 miles per hour in Cedar City. Now in St. George in southern Utah, getting close to 70 for a Friday afternoon. Again, expecting a lot of sunshine. Winds not quite as gusty as northeast winds will continue at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your high temperatures in from today, again with all the clouds and rain around, even a little bit of snow around Cedar City. Temperatures stayed in the mid 40s there, 45 degrees a high Cedar City, 41 in Beaver, 59 in Hurricane, 61 degrees today here in St. George, 67 degrees Mesquite, and 72 degrees a high in Vegas late this afternoon. Before tonight, we'll see mainly clear skies, and that will allow temperatures to drop off into the mid-20s in Cedar City. 23 degrees, our low temperature by tomorrow morning. Everyone also low 40s from Mesquite to St. George to Hurricane as you get to Thursday evening into early Friday morning. Now for your Friday, a lot of sunshine back in the area, but windy, a few gusty winds around Cedar City. 61 degrees a high temperature, upper 60s to low to mid 70s around much of southern Utah for much of your Friday afternoon. Now for Cedar City, 7-day forecast. A little rain moves in on Saturday. Again, a high 53 degrees, partly sunny skies by Sunday, 58. A little more rain early next week with temperatures dropping back close to 50 in Cedar City by Tuesday and then eventually warming back into the 60s by the end of next week. Here in St. George and southern Utah, temperatures once again for your Friday, low 70s, but a little rain around on Saturday could put temperatures back in the low 60s. And then we get warm right back close to 70 by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday. And then we do actually see warmer weather by middle part of next week. Low 70s return by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. But nice to see some rain though finally. Again, we've been kind of dry here last several months, or actually last month or so. So to get a little bit of rain chance is nice to see. And there's like another chance of rain Saturday and probably a little bit early next week once again.
Yeah, some definite changes coming there, and those changes could be helping us out in another way as well.
Right.
Yeah, after the heavy winter rains and a quick jump to warm temperatures, well, southern Utah is experiencing the worst allergy season in about a decade. Doctors say because of the rain and above normal temperatures, all of the area tree species are pollinating at the same time. Normally, trees will pollinate in a progression as temperatures warm up throughout the spring. However, those roughly 2 weeks of 80-degree temperatures, along with dry and dusty conditions, have allergy sufferers, well, feeling wretched. Experts tell us the misery index has reached 10 out of 10, and we are at one of the worst times in about a decade.
I can believe that. We definitely need to get some rain to get the pollen and all the other things down and get that taken care of.
Just get that cleaned up, knocked out, and
that would be very nice.
Hopefully some relief will be on the way.
We hope so. We're going to work on that, that's for sure.
Yep. Thanks, Chris. Still ahead, a towering renovation where you can conquer your fear of heights, 100 stories up. Chicago's Willis Tower Skydeck is about to get a facelift that allows thrill seekers to unleash their inner Spider-Man. The Blackstone Group, which owns the building, is working on a $20 million renovation of the Skydeck. Plans include a glass box that would let visitors rappel down from the 103rd floor to the 102nd while safely enclosed. And they also call for a new ledge walk for people to walk outside while clipped to a safety harness.
I don't think I'd mind the enclosed part of it, but when you walk out on the ledge, even though you have a safety harness, I just don't think that would be for me.
I did one of the little glass balconies where you step out over the street, and that was a little daunting. That was enough. Thanks for watching.
Hope you have a great night.